Hey everybody. Okay. I found out some new information and I had to share this with you because it changed the way I thought about things. Okay, so I was like, let me check out some past outbreaks that have happened and really compare the numbers. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. Okay. In 1633, smallpox came out and it killed 70% of the Native American population. 70%. Cholera came out between 1832 and 1866, killing 6 Americans per day. That's 34 years. Every day, 6 people died. Spanish flu, 1918. 675,000 Americans died. The flu returned later in 1957 as the Asian flu and killed 70,000 more people. Diphtheria between 1921 and 1925 killed 15,520 people. Polio started in 1916 and reached its peak in 1952. 57,628 cases of people infected, 3,145 of them died. 1981 to 1991, the measles outbreak. 1 million people died. Okay, it's kind of crazy. 2009 swine flu. Now this is the one that everybody is comparing this one to. Anywhere between 700 million people and 1.4 billion people were infected. 575,000 people died. That's 500,000 people that died from that. That was exactly 10 years ago. Now, after I get done telling you about these outbreaks, I have some new information that I just learned that I think is going to blow your mind because it did mine. Hepatitis A, September 2017, huge outbreak. California was in state of emergency. Thousands of people infected. October 17th, 2017, Marburg hemorrhagic fever, serious disease, viral infection, incubation period 10 days. The fatality rate was 30 to 90% fatalities. Okay, that started in Uganda. Avian flu, September 2017, 764 cases reported in China. That was a small release. Campylobacter outbreak. 1.3 million people got sick, and that was through 12 different states. The U.S. flu. This is just a fact. The U.S. flu just this year, the regular flu, 15 million people infected, 54 pediatric deaths alone. 54 kids died this year from just the flu. Regular influenza, the regular flu, between 300 million and 500 million every year infected, every year. And in that time, between 250,000 and 500,000 people die every single year from the flu. HIV infected 60 million people since 1980. And 30 million people have died. 2010, malaria infected 219 people. They came from mosquitoes. 219 million people, 660,000 deaths. I mean, these numbers are not, we didn't hear about half of these things like this, like as bad as they were. It should have been all over. 2012, tuberculosis, 8.6 million people were infected, 1.3 million people died. This was in 2012. TB swept the freaking nation. 8 million people infected, 1.3 million people dead. That wasn't all over the news. That they didn't shut the world down. They didn't stop everything from going on. Wait till you hear this, okay? Now, this I just learned, and this blew my freaking mind. Okay, see, let's put this together, okay? Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly how it went down, but I'll let you make up your own mind. Tell me what you decide. December 19th, 2017, exactly 2 years before COVID-19 all of a sudden was released or, whatever. Listen to this. The U.S. government lifted a ban on making lethal viruses, saying that the research is necessary to develop strategies and effective countermeasures against rapidly evolving pathogens that pose a threat to public health. Exactly 2 years ago, they lifted a ban so people could make lethal viruses for research. Okay. Follow me? Okay. Gets weirder. Dr. Francis Collins, director of the NIH, made the announcement in which he outlined a new framework for the controversial research. They were working with 3 viruses. Are you ready for this? They had influenza, SARS, and MERS. They were creating influenza, SARS, and MERS so they could, quote, make figure out how it works to reverse it, to make vaccines. These three viruses put together would kill millions of people. Critics said that the research could unleash a new germ, they called it, that could take out millions of people if not stored and cared for properly. Now, I don't know about you, but when I read this information and I just found this out, it was actually on a CNN article back December 19th, 2017. So 2 years ago, the government lifts a ban so we can make lethal viruses for research purposes. Exactly 2 years later, COVID-19, coronavirus comes on the map. It's nothing we've ever seen before. And people are comparing it to influenza, SARS, and MERS. I find that a little odd. Now, like I said, I just read this, and this is me putting it together myself. You make up your own mind on what you think, but I found that very interesting. And as far as the numbers, and it would, by the way, would not surprise me if this came from right here. But about the numbers, outbreaks have killed thousands and millions of people over the history of time. I just named a bunch. Look at all those millions and thousands of people that were dying, and it wasn't all over the place. They didn't shut the world down. They should have for TB, as highly contagious as it is, but in 2012, nothing ever happened. This whole shutting everything down is for another reason, and people need to start thinking about that. What is going to happen when total lockdown and they have total control? So I don't know. I just found this information out, and I wanted to get that out there because I find that very crazy.
So what do you think they're pushing for? Agenda 21?
Yeah.
One world government?
One world government. They have to. I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. But do the research. You can look this up yourself. It's crazy. When I heard it, I was like, wow, that blows my mind. But, don't get all panicky and think that the world is going to end and that, all of it ties in together. Everything is happening for a reason, and it's not because of a new virus that got, like I said, look at all these other ones that have happened. Nothing drastic like this has happened. So something else is going on behind the smoke screen that the public, that the media, and everybody is putting out there for us to watch. So I just wanted to make that quick one, get that out there. And
we don't have any rights right now.
True. When President Trump declared national emergency, your constitutional rights went down the drain. You don't have any. You're not a person. You're just a number. But you have no rights anymore. They're gone.
Wouldn't be surprised if they were coming for the guns and the weapons next.
Well, that'll be next. If I don't know. It's crazy. But definitely do your own research. Look into these other things too, and
the
just
NRA.
don't. Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, just look at the information. Grow your own food. Don't use the government's. But that's all I want to say. So stay clean, stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you next time.